can we expect from the budget vote?
Well, good evening to you, Malindra. Essentially, Zimbabweans have mixed expectations. Much of that is tempered with the realism about what the Minister of Finance can actually do to improve the economic environment. I think there's a realization that what's happening in Zimbabwe is also a reflection of what's happening across the globe. But still, I think a lot of people would want to see taxes reduced. Zimbabwe has imposed on several items import duties, and people really would want to see some of these reduced, especially those who buy goods from South Africa to resell here. The businesses would really want some kind of a pronouncement about what's going to happen with the electricity supply over the next 6 months or so. And so really there's a lot of expectation on the Minister of Finance ahead of this budget announcement tomorrow.
Now, Shinghai, the civil service wage bill is massive. It gobbles up 80% of the expenditure and is still rising. How will Chinamasa address this?
Well, he's spoken about it in the past. What he said is that government needs to rationalize the civil service. There's been a lot of external pressure. Previously, one understands the IMF has recommended that government slash its civil service. Most of the informal employees in this country are civil servants. But what you understand is that government is trying to do what it's saying that it wants to expand the economy, bring in a lot more money, even in terms of investment, in terms of assistance from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So as it grows that cake, the wage bill will automatically reduce. What they also are trying to do is to rationalize the pensions. Apparently, they've discovered that they're paying pensions to people that died a long time ago. So there are really a lot of measures that we expect the finance minister to talk about in his budget presentation tomorrow, to talk about some of the concrete measures that they want to take to reduce the civil service, but we can be almost sure that they will not be looking to retrench them.
And Shinghai, in order to broaden the tax base and bring in informal businesses and tax them, these informal businesses are saying that they need tax and import duty incentives if they are to start paying taxes. What's the situation right now?
Well, as you know, most of the people in this country are informally employed, so it's very difficult for the government to police them as well as to tax them and to follow them up to make sure that they're paying their taxes. Government has been trying to encourage vendors especially to register for their taxes and pay them. They've also been encouraging people who buy goods in South Africa for resale to declare them at the border, because really this is how it sees itself increasing its revenue base as well as its tax base. But a lot of people say that they simply don't earn enough money to be able to pay these taxes. It's almost like a justification that because of this economic situation that somehow they would rather wait for government to reduce the tax bill and to reduce or remove some of the duties that it's recently imposed on goods such as blankets and electronic equipment and blankets, which people have been importing for resale. Many of them say that they want to pay their taxes, but it's just not sustainable for them to do that. So really we're looking to see whether the finance minister has heard that particular appeal and whether he will reduce the taxes and make it a lot more attractive for some of these small businesses to register and pay their taxes.
And then there's the question of the power cuts that have hamstrung businesses. Will the finance minister also touch on those?
Well, he's likely to. He's done that at all the budget presentations so far. Really what people are expecting to hear is what the prognosis is for the next 6 months. You'll know that the Kariba Dam level, water levels are extremely low to the extent that there's been predictions that the power supply from that hydroelectric dam is likely to be halved. And so really I think people are waiting to see or to hear what government proposes to be able to keep the lights on for the next 3 or 4 months or so, as well as their predictions about the rainy season. Because really this will have an impact on the electricity supply in this country, which really has had such an adverse effect on businesses.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Shinghai. That was our correspondent, Shinghai Nyoka, previewing Zimbabwe's budget.